Today, here in the middle of July, I thought we would talk about gardening again. If you have watched any of these little videos or read the things that I write in the Presbytery newsletter, then you know that I am a gardener. So here we are in my garden today in the middle of July. Now, of course, in Illinois in the middle of July, one of the things you will see lots of are daylilies. Whether they are in somebody's garden like this or whether they are just along the road, they are blooming everywhere. Now, you may know that the reason they're called day lilies is because each bloom does not last very long. And so there is lots of work to do if you choose to do it when you grow day lilies, because there are all of these deadheads, these dead flowers that need to be removed. So I come out regularly and take the deadheads off. Now, not everybody does this kind of thing when they raise flowers, but I have always done a lot of deadheading on all of the kinds of flowers that I've raised for several reasons. First of all, I think the plants look better when all of these dead things are off of here. The second reason is for a lot of plants, once the flower has died like this, then right where that dead flower is where the seeds are produced. And I am not in the flower seed business. That's not why I grow flowers. I grow flowers for the blooms. And so I don't want the plant putting its energy into seed production, because what I want is the blooms, not the seeds. So I take the deadheads off. I also think that when the storms come along, like they always do in the middle of July in Illinois, it's easier on the plant not to have this dead weight on it. It's easier on these long stems to have removed some of this weight that doesn't have any meaning anymore and just discard it, because the plant doesn't need it, in my yard anyway, anymore. So I take them off so that the plant looks better, so that it's not spending its energy making seeds, and so that it is better able to withstand the storms that come along when the wind blows the stems around. I was thinking about this when I was out here the other day working on these flowers in terms of some of our churches. You might want to think about your church and think in terms of those three things, about whether there are some of the things that you're doing at your church that really have served their purpose and need to be removed from the way your church does its business. Maybe there are some things around in your church building or in the life of your church that, if they were removed, would just make things look better and function better. You might think about that. Or there might be things that once had a specific purpose in the life of your church, but now are serving a purpose that isn't part of your core call as a church, not part of what you see as your vision of what God is calling you to do. And so that would be like removing the deadheads so that they don't produce seeds. Sometimes in churches too, there are things that are hanging around that used to have a great purpose and no longer do, that kind of drag the church down and make it so that it's not as easy for that church to withstand the storms that come. So you might want to think about examining some of those things and wondering about whether it's time to lay them to rest and to say they have served their purpose. Well, if you're a gardener, you will spend lots of time out in your garden in the next few weeks. Probably part of what you will do is deadheading your garden. And while you're doing that, you might just think about the life of your church and think about how you might improve its looks and improve what it's doing and improve its ability to withstand the storms.